All right, hey everyone. My name is Austin Spivey, and this is week 10 of the Arc Academy workshop series. Week 10, of course, as the screen says here, reporting and plugins is what we're going to go over today. Basically, looking at what the options are and the value around the ability to report out static reports out of Qlik Cloud. As you can see, this is sort of like an intermediate type of feature and skill set. So we'll dive into what you need to be able to learn in order to get really adept at it. So we'll start looking at first, what are we coming from, right? So the legacy tool is the Qlik nPrinting feature. And that is a tool that would be installed apart from the Qlik Sense on-prem solution, and it allows you to kind of hook into your Qlik Sense server and into specific Qlik dashboards or applications and allow you to reuse the data, the charts, the tables, variables, expressions from that Qlik Sense app and use that inside of reports, like static reports. So you would be able to basically create Word, PowerPoint, Excel, HTML reports, documents, and you can put placeholders for like, this is where this chart goes, this is where this chart goes, this is where this table of data goes. And then that's how you can have reports that are automatically generated using data out of Qlik. So that was kind of the old paradigm, and the new paradigm is the Qlik Cloud reporting service, the Qlik reporting service. Now it's similar in that you achieve the same thing. You pull data out of Qlik apps, dashboards, and can use them in placeholders and documents like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and even a built-in editor that we'll get a glance at. And the value here is that you're not limited in Qlik Cloud to opening your browser and opening up a dashboard and having to click through the data therein to find insights, right? Sometimes you just need a steady kind of daily report that hits your inbox, or your teams, or however you like to get that information disseminated to your team or just to yourself, and basically get something that you subscribe to that you see on a regular basis, right? Just to check in. That's always going to be kind of a something that is needed in large, especially large organizations where you need kind of a larger surface area for visibility into your data. So that feature is available in Qlik Cloud, and it's baked right in, straight out of the box, right? So there's nothing new to download or install. We will look at a plugin for the Microsoft products in this call here. So, like it says, no separate download. Apart from that, you still are able to do scheduled reports, just like you could. The real unlock here with the Qlik reporting service is that it's all baked in, essentially. So we're going to see that. That's called PixelPerfect. So PixelPerfect is the name of the baked-in report editor, right, in Qlik Cloud. And so it's a little more advanced. It's best to have someone that's used to building reports, and can kind of figure out a concept called band reports, which we'll see. But essentially, you get really nice features straight out of the box. Number one, again, no extra download. It's all right from your Qlik dashboard that you can access it from. You can instantly preview your reports. You can export to HTML, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, etc. And you can distribute them to like SharePoint folders or via email. You can schedule them or just generate a report on demand. And it's nice because you can use templates. So you can you can build it and then reuse templates for consistent branding and the same look and design. So then the other thing we're going to see is you're going to get a similar feature set of being able to create your reports and have them scheduled and export them in various formats. But we'll see that a slightly easier way to do that is to use Microsoft products. because a lot of folks are already familiar with how to create those types of documents in Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. So there's actually a plugin that you can install from Qlik that lets you immediately hook into your apps and load in those placeholders, right? For tables of data, for charts out of certain dashboards, things like that. All right, so we're gonna see a little bit of all of that. So I'm gonna, let me see here. Okay, so what we're looking at now is just an example application with a bunch of IoT devices. So just like security cameras and sensors, things like that, that we have on a campus, right? And so let's say we want to be able to regularly get a report where we don't have to log into this dashboard, maybe on a daily basis, right? We just want something that hits our inbox at 7 a.m. every morning. I can see if there have been any, big errors, or, if we're coming up on a month where we need to do a lot of maintenance on our devices. I can just see that in a regular format on a regular basis. So what I can do is I can create a report directly from this dashboard. So I'm going to go to the sheet view, or from the sheet drop down, and go to reporting. So when I open up reporting, we get a few options here. The first thing we do is we can create a report task. So this is kind of putting the cart before the horse, but essentially this is like, if I have my report ready, this is the task that says, like, on a regular basis, like on a daily basis, weekly basis, every other day, every so often, whatever it is, I'm going to generate this report. It's going to go to these people, and that's where you create that. Now, the filters section up here is where basically I can make my selection. So the same way you would make your selections in a Qlik dashboard, this is kind of how you do it for a report. You just kind of put in your selections, your filters ahead of time. Is how you can do that. Okay, and then recipients is exactly what that sounds like. If I have specific people I want this report to go to, if it's just me, if it's a wider team, or just specific people, me plus leadership plus whoever, this is where I can specify that. And now you don't have to list everyone. You can also list groups, right? So we have this groups tab as well where you can add groups of people. Obviously, for larger organizations, this is a must-have. So that's where you can do that. And this can be based off of groups created in Qlik. It can also be used for Active Directory or LDAP groups. So it's all baked into your existing identity and user management system. And then the important part here is templates. This is where we create our report. So I already have one that is kind of pre-built here. I'm going to go ahead and hit edit so we can see what it looks like. It loads up a PixelPerfect template. And again, PixelPerfect is the report editor that is baked into Qlik. That's what we're looking at right here. This is a report I've already created. So it is just a regular, 8.5 by 11 size report. I have my header up here, IoT devices with errors. And then what we see here are the placeholders I mentioned. So for example, this one I've selected. If you look up here at properties, you can see this is actually the KPI, devices with errors KPI, that is in my dashboard. So if I go back to my dashboard, that is this KPI right here, devices with errors. We're also going to see the average uptime is the other one. And then this table right here is also going to be in that report. All right. As well as, I believe, this building and status chart here. So all of those are placeholders in this template. And this was done just by doing drag and drop. So I can see on the right side the list of what I have access to in this app. So images, aka like a screenshot of the chart. All I did was find the device ID, or rather the chart ID, and just drag that in. And then I just resized it, and that's how I got this. Now you can also add actual data, like tables, which is good if I want to be able to like highlight actual text in my PDF output, for example, rather than just a screenshot of something. This is, I can actually put the words, the text from my data, my table, right into this PDF report. And so that was also as Simple is going to levels, which is just kind of like getting different levels of data. And I just got everything for that devices table and just drag that in. And that's how we get something like this. All right. And so I can also preview this report just by clicking a preview button. And so it is currently hydrating this report. It's replacing all the placeholders with the real stuff. And as the data currently exists. And so I can continue editing the report if I want, but I can just wait for this to load, and then I'll go ahead and open that. And there we go. So there's my KPI that I added, both of those KPIs. Here's that bar chart that I have here. I can see everything looks pretty crisp and clean. It's the good zoom. And then there's my table. And there's a lot of data in here. This report generated 300 pages. So obviously, I would probably filter that down to not use as much data. But just goes to show that it generated this in only a few seconds. So pretty good stuff here. So that is the PixelPerfect editor. And again, this is a little more advanced. There are a ton of properties and options for changing the style, the behavior, the appearance of these types of reports. And it uses a banded reporting style. Where you can see on the left, these blue and green spots. These are different bands that can be repeated or can be static for different pages, for different parts of the report. So it's a slightly different paradigm than the usual drag and drop. So it's a little more advanced. But now what I'll do is I'll pull up this other report here that I have open in Excel. So Excel, obviously much more accessible to most people because most everyone's used it. And so right now I have a daily snapshot report, and you can see I have devices with errors KPI already in here. But what I can do, for example, is I can come back here, I can add a new chart, all right? And I've already pre-filtered to the KPI that I want. This is going to be that percent uptime KPI. So I'll just hit the plus sign to add it to my Excel report. And in just a few seconds, I get a placeholder here for that KPI. And I can place that wherever I need it to. And now I want to add some data. So I want to add a table. So I've already added this device list table. So I can look at the settings here. I want to keep the format that it has in the current Qlik app. I want to expand so that it adds all the columns for me and all that. So all I need to do is I need to hit add table. And so it adds it in, just a little placeholder. Then let's say I want it formatted a little more table-y in Excel. So I'll just do insert table. I'll say it has headers. And then I know that there are 9 columns in this table. So if I just want to go ahead and format it that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like that. And I don't want this extra row. So Qlik has a little feature called delete row, and that just gets rid of that. So that should be all I need. I can format these headers here just the same way you would in Excel. I'm just using Excel formatting here, which is really the best part of this is it's all Excel at the end of the day. And Qlik is just putting things into it. All right, so after I do that, I can go ahead and preview this. I can either preview it as an Excel file or as a PDF, but I'll view this as an Excel file for now. And so in just a few seconds, it pops open a new Excel file here. And I can go ahead and see what that looks like. There we go. So it popped in those KPIs we already saw, and then it spit out this table in Excel that I can, now interact with, just like any other Excel file. All right, I can filter it, and I can, change the formatting even further if I want. But this can be generated on a regular basis and then sent out to my colleagues or to vendors or other folks in the organization. just based off of that Qlik app. So it can be all completely hands off. The Qlik app is updated every day, and then my report gets sent out every day. I get full visibility and complete automation across the board from A to Z. So that right there is sort of our overview of how to do some reporting, static reporting in Qlik Cloud. And again, so you have, this paradigm where before you had to install a whole other tool that was Qlik nPrinting. Nowadays, it's all baked into Qlik Cloud itself. And you get a built-in report editor. That's the PixelPerfect one that we saw. It's a little more advanced, but it gives you everything you need to be able to create static reports or generated reports straight from Qlik Cloud. No other installs or anything. Um, you can do a small install of a plugin if you want to make use of the Microsoft products in order to create your reports, design your reports in PowerPoint, Excel, Word, what have you. And that comes with a much lower barrier to entry for, having those skills to create these reports because most folks are familiar with the Microsoft tool set. And the real benefits here ultimately for either approach is that again, straight out of Qlik Cloud, no extra tooling is needed in order to get disseminated generated reports for just you, just a few people, or large teams or the whole organization. It can hit your inbox, it can hit Teams, it can hit Slack, wherever that needs to be. It can be dropped in like a SharePoint folder on a regular basis. You can set that cadence if it's daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, and it can be just iterated on really, really quickly. And otherwise, if it doesn't need to be iterated on, it's completely hands off. So that's kind of the beauty there. And anyway, this was week 10 on reporting and plugins for the Arc Academy workshop series. And we hope to see you next week.